Well, good morning. Let's see, it's 6:15 in the morning. What did I just say? Oh, yeah. I made a few changes, and I think everything is okay. I I took away my wavelength docking station from this computer here and moved it over here for this other computer. I don't think I've plugged anything into it yet, except, well, no, I didn't plug the USB or the micro USB cable in because there's no, on that Dell, place for that to plug in. But anyway, I got everything right now on this computer. Oh, you can see the wavelength right here. For this computer, but not hooked in yet. Got some medicine things I have to fill for the next few days. 4 of them right now that I need to fill. I've got, let's see, for the replacement for this really nice device, well, I have another docking station which does not actually have a micro USB into it, but I've been using it over here. I'm not sure if I want to get another docking station or not, but this right now appears to be working okay. And I did get around to fixing this up here. I think this is the way I want it. The Wave 3, Econto Wave 3 microphone appears to be working okay. It appears to be in sync. Let's see here. Yeah, at least right then. So that's been my worry a little bit. I think I asked. I think I commented the other day in a couple of short videos that, do I really need to have this screen? Don't know. I've always liked big views of the room, the room and stuff like that. And I remind you, like I have many, many, many times, that I was streaming video 24 hours a day, 7 days a week before there was a YouTube or any, and a lot of times I had the camera up in the room on a tall tripod, aimed down. It took in the entire, the entire room. And I like those kind of shots where you can see what's going on in the background, where you can see everything. I think, which I can't do here. I think the only thing better, of course, I'm not going to do that kind of a shot, but I think the only thing better would be if I lived someplace where there was a big, window, you know, and if you could be seeing me and you could also be seeing outside, you know, maybe the street or something, or something like that, you know, so you'd get that type of flavor. The walking and talking videos that I did, an awful lot of you liked those. I just not up to it now. And I may not be up to it, you know, to doing that kind of stuff. I think I went to the, what do they call it, Botanical Gardens, I think, once, I think, here in Dallas, Fort Worth. I would like to go out there, like, you know, maybe 4 times during the year and, you know, make a video out there at the plant, because they have different, you know, the plants come up at different times, different kinds of plants and that kind of stuff. So I'd like to do that. What else? I do also like when they have downtown events or in a shopping mall, you know, where people are showing their artwork or their crafts that they do. Here in Fort Worth, and I'm sure in Dallas and a whole bunch of other cities in the United States, you know, there are artists. They have events like once a year that last for 2 or 3 days, and people come. They have booths set up, and I would love to be able to take that kind of some of those videos. I've wanted to go to the, you know, the zoo, Fort Worth Zoo, and I think I thought in the past that I could really do a good job of making videos. But then I saw that, and I thought, well, a bunch of people would come, you know, the zoo, and I would do, you know, I would zoom in on the sign, you know, that told you, you know, gorillas or, you know, I don't know, whatever, you know, and then I would, you know, pan the camera over, and then you would see them, and I was thinking I would know about the, you know, a proper amount of time to spend, and because I think I would have a little bit of a, because I've seen some really bad, you know, of course people are taking, you know, their family, and they just want their family or something. But then I went to the Fort Worth Zoo several times, you know, online, and I guess they had paid, you know, some professional company to come in and do, you know, a video of the zoo. And I thought, I don't, you know, I don't like it, but I thought, well, it's, you know, it's okay. I mean, they're professionals, and, you know, they're, the thing I didn't like about it was, you know, they didn't, like, go to the sign and let you know what kind of, you know, kind of animals are those. And then, but actually, I mean, the videos were good that were done. They were good. But what shocked the heck out of me was they didn't have very many views. You know, I thought, well, if I went out there and, oh, wow, made, you know, at the zoo, I thought I'd get probably a whole bunch of people to come, you know, and then whatever. I don't think so. Something, you know, I don't know, something about it. I think, not sure what it is. Now, when I was in Miami, Florida for, was it 3 years or 5 years? Can't remember. They had the great beaches, not crowded. Of course, you could go to crowded beaches, but now I have, like, for this, sometimes I want to remember what it was like in Miami, and there are people there and across the country, and I think they're probably companies, you know, that hire somebody to do that. Might be individuals too, but they just, they're doing 4K video and they're walking through the beach. They're walking down the main street where all the entertainment is, and the scantily clad women in the cars out in the street where people, you see all these cars that are, expensive cars. And the thing with that is, if you go to Miami, and I'm sure other places too, like a lot of guys go to Miami, and I guess maybe for a vacation or whatever, and they rent really, expensive cars. I mean, really, that's where you see these cars, and they're one after another on the street, and you see these guys in the car, and I guess they probably all chipped in, 4 guys, I guess they chipped in, 4 ways or something. They drive down and they honk at the girls and stuff. But the videos I liked from Miami were areas where I walked, and I walked for hours and hours, and then turned around and walked back or whatever. And like the Bayside Mall, with boats docked right there, and you can go out and, for a small amount of money, ride on one of the different things that they have, different kind of boats that they have that are people are making money doing that. And so there's some that you can take one that's high speed, just going around like crazy. Then you got others that are slower, and just all types of things. And now, if you went there and then you decided you wanted to ride on 4 or 5 different little boat things going around there, that cost you a lot of money. But if you just did I didn't ride on any of the boats there, but I went in, and ate, and then I watched the. There was some I would have done, but it seemed like every time too, people were waiting to board, because they don't generally pull. You have to wait a little bit, they don't generally pull in and everybody fills up the boat. And I guess it depends on when you go, Saturday or Sunday, or maybe at night's the best time or something. I did go out on the gambling boats a little bit. I did that in Titusville. I did that in Miami. Did it in Titusville once, where I went out you have to wait to get beyond the 6-mile limit, and then you can gamble. And then they stay out there a while. I mean, as soon as we got out there, I forget if I was playing $40 or $50 or something. I mean, I lost it right away. See, that's one thing from Kansas City, Missouri, when they got casinos and started out, and may still be that way. They have to be on water, like river, like the Missouri River or something like that. And then what they did is they just dug a ditch way far away, and with water from the there, and then they built their boat casino, or what a boat that never sailed or whatever. But I enjoyed going there, and I did that for several. Like I told you too, for 1 year, I went 2 or 3 nights a week on like midnights, because I was working the midnight shift, and on my days off, and I think that's when I had 3 days off a week, midnights, and there wasn't much to do, there wasn't anything to do, so I was going to the casino, and I enjoyed that, and I won, although I kept, like I mentioned before, I kept track, and by the end of the year, I had lost. Of course, that's what's going to happen. I lost more than I won, but I enjoyed myself. And but when I left Missouri, like on the way down to Florida, my son and I, okay, first when I went to Orlando, my son and I, we stopped and played for a few hours and then, continued to drive on. And then later when my other son and we were going to Miami, we went down to Miami. We did the same thing. We stopped, and he liked playing the casino some. But I went with him, and I never won anything. Where in Missouri, I would win occasionally, and never won anything. And I just had no interest in going anymore to the casinos. So, with my daughter Hillary, we went to the casino across into Oklahoma. It's about a 45-minute drive from here over to Florida or to Oklahoma, where gambling is legal, on an Indian reservation or something, But I never really, I did a few times. I wanted a little bit of money. Hillary, of course, I think she gambled, with quite a bit of money. But she had some big wins. But overall, you lose. That's why it's so strange that Donald Trump, the former president, every one of his businesses and enterprises have all gone bankrupt, and he had 2 casinos in Atlantic City, I think, and they went bankrupt. And people have said, how can you have a casino and go bankrupt? How can you have a casino and lose money? But he managed to do it, which is funny. They had that TV show or whatever of where what was it called? Where anyway he's supposedly he had these people come in, and then he sets a task for them to do, and then he picks the best one, and that's the winner, the successful one or whatever. But of course on that show he didn't do any of the everything was scripted for him. And of course I never watched the show. I didn't like it. But yeah, he's had bankruptcy on every, and then the people that he does business with, he refuses to pay them. And there's a whole bunch of those businesses that they went broke because they were like smaller. He knew who to victimize or whatever. Like one of them I think put, I'm not sure if it was in Trump Tower or whatever, put in, I forget if it was carpeting or what I think it was carpeting. And the guy had a successful business doing that. And so he got the contract for Trump Towers or something. And he went in, and then, Trump would, when it was done, Trump would say, well, no, there's something, there's wrinkles in the thing. And the guy would come in, so he wanted to get his money, so he'd come in and do that. And then Trump would just keep pulling stuff like that. And then finally, okay, well, I'll be sending the check out to you. So this guy who has this, small company, but we're not talking about 2 or 3 guys, he has a successful business of installing carpeting or whatever. He never gets, Trump, a check never comes, Of course, Donald Trump, So the guy probably, doesn't want to call up and say, where's my goddamn money, So he calls, and then I guess Trump, or whoever's speaking for Trump, well, then finally I guess it gets down to, well, the check's in the mail, and this poor businessman, goes home and tells his wife and his kids and everything, okay, well, that big job I did, the check is in the mail. And of course he never gets the check, and then, then finally he has to tell, Trump, you got to pay me, I got these, I'm, and Trump says, sue me. And a whole bunch of people like that, good, decent, New York, business people who had successful businesses, they did business with Trump, and a bunch of them, ended up out of business. I'm trying to think right now of but we didn't, I'm divorced now. I've been divorced since I was, been divorced since I was 40 years of age. But we had a couple small businesses that we didn't have any things where, we sold like tropical fish, and then had a security patrol service, and, we didn't have any problems like that. But I did enjoy the casinos in Kansas City, Missouri. And I didn't enjoy the casinos outside of Kansas City, Missouri. So I think I've got this top up here the way I want it. It's systop, and when Jason interviewed me for BBS, the documentary, and recorded, I think 2.5 or 3 hours. One of the questions he asked me and asked other people that he was is, how do you say systop or sysop, or anyway, he said, I forget. He said, and I was kind of surprised. He said, now, do you say systop, or, he listed like 4 or 5 of them. I thought, systop, But I just came on that. I hadn't heard anybody else saying it. I could see it spelled, but that was one of the questions that he asked. But anyway, if you see that up there, and if your nation or your language or whatever, if that means fuck me or something, then you might let me know, and I'll remove it. The systop part. Those were really good people back in those days. Those were the good old days, in a way. 300 baud was not good. I can remember when the first modems were available, they were 300 baud. And what was that first one that I had? It's a name that you would recognize from that time, and it was built, like, it was only 300 baud, but aluminum or stainless steel, and it was expensive too, by the way. And I moved so much. I really would have liked to, and I've seen some people, YouTubers, that's something too I enjoy doing, is people make these YouTube videos. I enjoy looking at their background. What's in their room, what do they got what do they got hanging from their wall, and that kind of stuff. And I see some of them that have old, computer equipment. And But I remember 300 baud was like reading speed. In fact, that's what when somebody said, "Oh, Jim, you should get 1200 baud. They have those out now." And of course, those were, more expensive. And I said, I said, well, 12 or 300 baud is reading speed. That's what it was, really. Welcome to Howard's Notebook. Enter your name, that or whatever. And then 1200 baud came, and then 2400 and 6400 and. Oh, that's right. I mentioned in a previous video that someplace it's in a drawer now. I've got a list of the dates and times, not the times, the dates that I bought various hardware and the price that I paid and stuff like that. I think it'd be kind of interesting because I want to make the video and then do a search and hopefully find the device that I owned or whatever. I'd like to have that. Hey, I really don't want it. You might have one. Don't send it to me, please. Because I'm 62. No, I'm 82. I'm 82, so I don't need anything for my, family to throw away or something. But like that 300 baud modem, Hayes, I think it was a Hayes modem, and it was well built. Kind of thing I like. So I'm not sure what's on the agenda for today. I'm down to 5 cans of Coke, and not 24 packs, but just 5 cans of Coke. I spent too much money, which I always do. So I might have to go to Coke rationing. In the past I've had, which I don't think anybody's ever used, maybe somebody used it once. In the past on some of my sites that have been online, there's been a thing like, buy Jim a cup of coffee, or a coffee or whatever. Or I do like, but apparently I'm not that kind of a person. I do like the when somebody's doing a live streaming on YouTube, and when somebody joins, subscribes or whatever they do, and then they have graphics pop up, when they're doing the live streaming, and they have a chat room over there, and people donate, will donate money, and it'll pop up, an animation or thanks, Bill, or whatever, and then the amount of money in different language and in different, languages, different kinds of things. I think that's, I kind of like that, but I don't want to deal with it. I saw, I forget the details of it, I saw where some Republican group, several people, had a GoFundMe thing set up, and they've actually been criminally charged because they, and I really didn't think of that happening with, GoFundMe. I mean, there's always going to be people, but some Republicans set up, and I'm not sure what it was, if it was, donate and help the veterans, or whatever it was, they fell into the classification of, what would the crime be? Anyway, I think they were, maybe they were collecting money for Donald Trump. Well, it'd be Donald Trump. And for some reason, defense fund or whatever, and the money was being used for totally different. I mean, it was they lied, and I guess that comes under mail fraud or that type of thing. So. Yeah, if I had the graphics or something going, I'd probably have, buy Jim a Coke, you know, buy Jim a 24 pack of Coke or something. I'm not into game playing, and I haven't played Civilization 6 in months and months. And when I've mentioned, that when I was doing some live streaming, oh, what video games do you play? And I said, Civilization 6. That's it. And I've never played against anybody, other players. Never done that. And I actually, this is going to be remarkable. I've been playing, and whatever the one was before Civilization 6, I have never won. I play for hours, and I have never won because I'm just interested in, I don't want to go to war with anybody, and I don't want them coming to war with me. And I just like building up, my things and growing stuff or doing that, whatever it is, I enjoy doing that. So actually, I've never won a game. And I also think, I think I've probably only lost 2 or 3 games or something. And because of somebody, I'm not going to spend, I enjoy building stuff and building up stuff. And if I get, attacked by something, I don't want to spend an hour or 2 or 3 fighting a war, moving these around. So I'll just, okay, time to end the game, I do need to get back to Civilization 6 for a little while. But I do have a lot to do around here. Oh, somebody just mentioned, I'm getting ready to end this. You can go ahead and leave now. You're not going to miss anything. Somebody, they did mention that, he mentioned, that he was surprised that my phone rang and I never answered it, and why I didn't just put it in simple mode or something like that. Yeah, I don't really want to talk on the telephone to anybody because of my hearing problems, and I just... And, yeah, I have a lot I actually do have to do, I make maybe a couple YouTube videos a day sometimes, maybe more. And I'm always messing with my equipment. I mentioned, I think, a while back that if I had the money, I wouldn't mind just having, ordering and have everything, everything come in, all, where I wouldn't have to do anything. I wouldn't have to mess with it. Everything would be, the maximum hard drive storage that I needed, and everything would just be turn it on. I mean, I enjoyed in the past with the bulletin board systems. I loved that. Wildcat Mustang or whatever that was. I bought their program, and then when they renewed, when they upgraded, I paid for the upgrade. I enjoyed playing it with. It was fun doing this stuff. It was neat. But now, at my age, I wouldn't mind if I had the money. If Amazon or Dell Computer or I don't know who, if they said, okay, and if I had the money, okay, well, for $2,000, you'll get the entire setup, microphone, the right software and everything, and come to your house and you just plug it in, log in, and you don't have to do anything. I would love that. But I do have a whole bunch of stuff that I actually do have to do. You know, Darlene is in a wheelchair. There's a lot of things, you know, she can't really reach. She uses tongs sometimes, you know, the oven thing. She has trouble getting something, you know, heavy like turkey or something out of the oven. She can't reach the dishwasher, the upper, that, you know, thing. She takes the stuff out of the bottom, but then she'll call on me. And, there's a whole bunch of that, but then there's other stuff that, you know, goes on. But I would like to, I wouldn't mind a plug and play, you know, to plug it in and it works. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. I'll see you in another video, I'm sure, soon, I hope.